What is going on, everybody? My name's Chris. Welcome to Bourbinsane. Today I have got a very special episode, very special lineup. You can see we've got multiple bottles today. We are going to be talking about Traverse City Whiskey Company. Now, Traverse City Whiskey Company was kind enough to send me some samples of all their whiskey expressions that they currently have going. Couldn't be more thankful. I told them, of course, I'm going to give an honest review on the products. But Traverse City Whiskey Company is located in the northern part of Michigan, so Traverse City, Michigan. And currently, these are the base, at least 5 products of their core lineup that I'm going to be talking about today. So what we'll do is we'll get into each bottle individually. We'll try it, we'll nose it just like usual, and we'll talk a little bit about each expression as we go through it. So to start out, we're going to start with their straight bourbon whiskey. Now, the bottle that they sent me is age-stated 3 years or higher. They do use MGP for pretty much all their expressions, so they do source their whiskey, but they are starting to incorporate their own product into all their expressions now. They do have one product, which is the Coast Rye, that is all their own product, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But starting out with their straight bourbon whiskey, 71% corn, 25% rye, and 4% barley. So pretty high rye mash bill really on this. Again, 3 years or more, and then this is 90 proof. So let's start out going into the nose. Not too grainy from what I was expecting it to be. It's definitely got that, I guess, kind of MGP sweetness. It's kind of hard to describe, but anyone who's had MGP juice knows that what I'm talking about there. It doesn't really smell overly young, surprisingly. I mean, it's a little bit shiny, but a nice sweetness comes through. Kind of like a light fruit, I'd say. Like a light, like almost like a red apple peel. Yeah, it's definitely a little shiny. But it's not off-putting. It's not off-putting by any means, for sure. Let's give it a sip on this one, guys. Cheers. So it definitely still tastes pretty young, for sure. So the graininess, as I mentioned, was not really overly prevalent on the nose. On the palate, it is quite grainy. A little bit drying. I mean, the rye spice definitely does come through, but you can definitely get that kind of alcohol-forward, grassy note, first of all. Second sip was better. It still definitely tastes young, for sure. I'll be very curious to see once they start incorporating their own juice, once the distillery's been open a little bit longer, they can use their own product to see how their base whiskey here evolves. It's definitely not bad. Retail price on this expression is $30 for a 750, so not really terribly priced for a craft distillery. This definitely would hold up just fine in a cocktail for sure as well, but straight, it definitely does need more time. Needs more age, in my opinion. So, just my thoughts on the first one at least. But moving on to their second expression, this is the American Cherry Edition. Now, this comes in at only 70 proof, so 35% alcohol. And what this is actually a cherry whiskey. So, Traverse City is actually the cherry capital of the United States. So, cherry is their big thing. They have a cherry festival every year. And what they do is they take their base bourbon, and they actually incorporate, I think it was 10 gallons of cherries for about 2-week period and let that sit in the whiskey to kind of incorporate that cherry flavor. So this is probably going to be more of a cocktail whiskey than it is necessarily drinking a straight whiskey, I believe. We'll try it and see how it tastes. I'm imagining the cherry is really going to take over and it's going to have to be used in a cocktail for the most part, but we'll find out. Yeah, pretty much just all cherry on the nose. This definitely would be a cocktail drink for sure, just based on the nose. They do also make their own brandied cherries as well, which I have here. I'll try one of those at the end, but And they were kind enough to send me those as well, along with this hat too. So I really appreciate them letting me try these for myself and be able to review these for you guys. So surprisingly, actually on the palate, it's not overwhelming with the cherry like I was anticipating it was going to. It's definitely, I mean, cherry, and it's only, you know, 35%, so it's quite low. But really, it tastes almost like a fresh, juicy cherry versus it being like a fake candy cherry flavor, which I hate. You know, I hate cherry flavored like licorice, Jolly Ranchers. I hate that fake cherry flavoring. But this one does a good job not being really that fake flavor. It tastes very fresh. So you can tell they're using at least good ingredients in the products, which is a good thing. So, all right, moving on to number 3. We'll go into their own product. Now, this is all their own juice, as I mentioned. This is the North Coast Rye. And this is a combination of a couple different mash bills. So 100% straight rye and also a 95.5. So 95% rye, 5% malted barley. So all their own juice on this one. It's going to be probably a little spicy with it being all rye. I think this is, I'm trying to think of the age on this one. Can't remember the age. I think it was around 3 years though. I'll put it up here for you guys just to confirm. Whew, definite spice on the nose initially on this one. Definitely smells just like a rye whiskey for sure. Pepper. Actually some clove notes in there too. But pepper is the predominant note in there for sure. Doesn't smell, again, not overly grainy. This is 47% alcohol too, I forgot to say that. 47%, so this is actually amped up a little bit. The grain note, again, is there. But it's not overwhelming on the nose, again. Well, there is no doubt that is a rye whiskey. Definite spice. I mean, very, very spicy on the palate. Little bit drying. I'm not a big fan myself of overly drying ryes or high rye bourbons in general. It can just be a little much for my palate specifically. Really not too bad a flavor though. Surprisingly, again, for the youthful age. Flavor wasn't too bad. The grain note wasn't overwhelming. Again there, but not destroying your nose, destroying your tongue with that alcohol burn or anything. Yeah, definitely peppery finish, spicy finish. Another good one though that would probably hold up well in a cocktail, really, because of how much rye it really is. What, averaging probably 97% rye between both mash bills. That's good. That's great in a lot of cocktails. Good for Manhattans, old fashions, because I like a lot of rye in my old fashions usually. So again, I think this would hold up very well in that. This comes in at $40 retail. I believe the cherry was about $35. So again, really not too bad a price for a micro distillery, because they can get very pricey for some expressions for some companies. So not too bad. Next up, we have the port finished. Now, same whiskey expression as the straight bourbon whiskey, but after it's finished aging, they take the whiskey that's in the barrels and they re-age it, or kind of finish it at least, in port wine barrels for 6 months to a year. So I've seen both, 6 months, a year, probably somewhere in between, or depending on the batch, maybe they do different amounts of time too. I have heard mixed reviews on this, so I'm not sure what to expect. We'll see. I personally am not a huge fan of finished bourbons or whiskeys in general. So this is 43% alcohol. So again, a little bit lower. Probably going to be pretty smooth with the port finishing, but let's find out. So this has kind of a, what I would say is described as a funk on the nose to me. And it does kind of smell like it smells like wine. It honestly smells more like a barrel-aged wine than it does a wine-aged bourbon, you know? That's kind of what it smells like to me. Age, again, going to be the same as what's in the straight bourbon here, so about 3 years. I'm honestly not too big of a fan of the nose on this, and I was kind of worried about that just because I'm not a big, finished whiskey guy. But who knows? See if the taste is good. Cheers, guys. So it's very sweet, and there is like a little chocolate note in there. Chocolatey note, a little bit of dark fruit note. But to me, it's kind of a clash of the graininess from I think the youthful age and the sweetness. To me, at least, I don't think they're playing off each other that well, unfortunately. Yeah, the front of the palate's actually, I mean, it's not too bad. The front of the palate's got a nice sweetness. You kind of get those fruit flavors. You can taste the port influence. But on the finish, it kind of, the oak, like the slight oak with the graininess and the fruitiness from the port kind of, it kind of just doesn't mesh well. It feels like it's kind of all separated. It needs to be, I don't know, blended better together or something. The flavors just kind of seem to be clashing a little bit. So, price on the port barrel finish is $40 as well. So same as the North Coast Rye. This actually would probably be pretty decent in like a Manhattan. It's got a lot of those Manhattan type flavors with that port, the port finishing. So Manhattan or any cocktail really that wants a little more of that sweetness probably hold up pretty well, really. All right, we are finally on to the expression I've been most looking forward to. This is their barrel proof expression. Aged a minimum of, probably at the time this was about 3 years, but 4 years now for what's upcoming and the ones you'll see coming up on the shelf. So this is bottled at 56.18%. And for any of you that follow the whiskey world, this bourbon actually just won Best Small Batch Whiskey at the San Francisco Spirits Awards for 2019. So pretty highly regarded, and a lot of accolades already on this whiskey. So the one I'm most looking forward to, I mean, barrel proof. If you guys watch the channel, you know I'm a big barrel proof guy to begin with. So really looking forward to this. Let's give it a try. Same whiskey again, just amped up for the straight bourbon whiskey. Definitely a lot more richness, and you can definitely tell the proof is amped up on this. Still quite a bit of grain. Still definitely a definite improvement from just the regular whiskey expression, though. I mean, just all the same flavors just kind of amplified in your nose. The caramels, the vanillas. That sweetness still with like that red apple peel I was describing is still there too. Definitely smells good, though. Yeah, it's definitely good. It's definitely good and better than the rest of the expressions, in my opinion. So definitely their best expression. I definitely still get a very youthful note on this, though. It tastes very green, a lot of those grassy notes. The barrel proof is very nice. It leaves a nice finish in your mouth, though. Nice mouth coating. More of those fruity notes. Like I'm talking like more dark fruit notes like raisin, plum. They definitely come through more. And that sip was even better than the first. The barrel proof is actually quite good. I definitely really like the barrel proof. Out of all these expressions, if you guys at least have a similar palate to what I do, definitely seek out the barrel proof because it's got all the amplified whiskey flavors you want. Price on the barrel proof is going to be about $75. So this is going to be their priciest expression. Also, comes with the proof, higher proof. But I definitely like that barrel proof for sure. Definitely a good expression from them. And one I'll be coming back to for sure. Alright, so the last thing that they sent me was some of their premium cocktail cherries. Now again, these are Traverse City cherries that they use. So, now the gold standard cherry, kind of a weird thing to be talking about, but is Luxardo cherries. I love Luxardo cherries. I think they work really well in cocktails. I actually did a live stream recently where I compared a whole bunch of different types of whiskey glasses. And I actually tried these cherries during that live stream. And I compared them a little bit to the Luxardo cherries. It was near the end, so excuse the whiskey that had happened in between. These are very good cocktail cherries. Very good. The price is similar to what Luxardo is. So Luxardo cherries are pushing that same kind of price, like $15 to $20 some places. Sometimes I've seen cheaper, but this is around that same price. I want to have one. I'll say the thing about these cocktail cherries is they taste more like a real cherry versus like Luxardo tastes more like almost like a maraschino cherry, where it's kind of that more of a fake cherry, but it is brandied. So if you like more of that natural cherry flavor, I think these are going to be a better cocktail option for you. So pretty good, really. Pretty good. All right, overall, Traverse City Whiskey Company, I think, has a lot of potential for what's coming up down the road. Once they start incorporating more of their own juice into their products, once they let some of their own stuff age a little bit, I think there's going to be a lot of potential and a lot of really good expressions coming out. They're already doing good stuff. They really are. This barrel proof is very good. Very good. If you guys can find the barrel proof, I would say definitely get that. Again, if you're like me, you lean towards that higher proof stuff anyway. For the other expressions, I think it depends on the whiskey drinker. So if it were me, I would want to try a pour of these expressions first to see if it's something you like. I definitely think this port finish could be a cocktail, work very well in a cocktail. I mean, it's got a Manhattan profile by itself. It almost tastes like it was finished in a Manhattan barrel. So that's definitely something that would be a cocktail option, as well as the rye. The rye has so much that spice, it would work really well in a cocktail as well. So definitely, if you get a chance to go to the distillery, definitely go check it out. Traverse City Whiskey Company, I mean, the city of Traverse City is beautiful. If you're ever in Michigan and you're in that area, definitely go check them out. Go to their shop. They are going to be having some like distillery-only releases coming up and stuff. I know they have a barrel-proof rye expression as well. That's supposed to be really, really good too. So next time I'm up to Traverse City, I'll definitely be going and visiting them. Hopefully I can do a tour. That would be awesome. Try some stuff right out of the barrel. That'd be really cool. So, but definitely if you can find these, they do distribute to about 25 states right now. So they're pretty widely distributed. I think you'll be able to find these bottles. And I think they're definitely worth a look and definitely worth a try. A lot of potential upcoming. A lot of good things they're already doing. So if you can get a bottle, go find one. Thank you guys so much for watching this review today. If you like these kind of videos, these side-by-sides, tastings next to each other, reviewing micro-distilleries, this is a lot of fun reviewing micro-distilleries like this too. Let me know down in the comments below. If you like what I'm doing, please give me a like and a subscribe. Feel free to check out my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/bourbinsane. A lot of exclusive content only over there for patrons. Also, you can see I've been using challenge coins all day here. If you are interested in a challenge coin, I've still got about 40-50% left of them, so shoot me an email, bourbinsane@gmail.com, and I'll get you taken care of. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. Stay insane.